But now we jump in to why I personally think there should be an 8-team playoff. All right? I think there should be an 8-team playoff in college football. Let's jump into this. Why I personally think this, guys, is because look at this year that we're having in college football. I mean, if you're looking at college football rankings right now, okay, you have, of course, Alabama is your number one team in the country. They are absolutely absurd. I don't even know how you can make the argument that they're not. They're just incredibly fun to watch. Notre Dame, number 2. Honestly, I think you can make that argument too, where they should be the number 2 team in the country. Clemson at number 3, yes. Ohio State, 4. Yeah. I mean, they are probably the 4th best talented team in the country, so we'll give it to them. Texas A&M, Florida, Cincinnati. All 7 of those teams deserve to make the playoffs. They should be in the playoffs. They're all good enough to make the playoffs. And why I think we should have an 8-team, look at Coastal Carolina. They're fun. They're fun. And I want to touch on this Coastal BYU game. Teal Nation. I mean, you remember back in the day, guys? What do we have? We had the Catholics versus convict game. Miami versus Notre Dame. Well, what do we have this year? We had the Mormons versus Mullets game. It was fun to watch. The teal field at night, it was popping. Coastal Carolina came out, tried to get in Zach Wilson's head, and they did. They did. It was a very chippy all game. I wouldn't say undisciplined, but there was a lot of unsportsmanlike. But this is the second best game of the year. Personally, me, as a Kentucky fan, even though the Coastal BYU game overran, I wanted to watch Coastal BYU. I had it on my phone while I was watching Kentucky, South Carolina as well, because it was that fun. It was intriguing. And that felt... And look, Coastal had fans there, and I'm sure a lot of other teams do have fans. I do understand that. But this just felt like it was kind of back to normal. The atmosphere was great. The student section was great. It was a fun game, back and forth all game. Very, very evenly matched. First of all, let's give a shout out to the athletic directors of BYU and Coastal to even get this game going on a Thursday afternoon where BYU has to take a flight all the way across the country just to play a game on 1.5, 2 days notice. Unreal. That's a lot of respect to BYU. Anytime, anywhere, any place, they lived up to that motto by coming to Coastal. I enjoyed it. Coastal Carolina, McCall, the freshman quarterback, he had a great game. He was a great game manager. And Coastal gets the win at the end of the day. And you have to be so heartbreaking if you're Zach Wilson and the BYU Cougars. I mean, coming on a drive, no timeouts, 30, 40 seconds left, to have to go 70 yards, and then to get stopped at the 1-yard line to lose the game? I mean, that is so heartbreaking and a very, very long flight back home. But that kind of got me off my little... I went on a little tangent. I just wanted to talk about that for a sec. But why I personally think we should have an 8-team playoff is because, look at like I just said, look at those teams. Look at those teams. 9-0 Alabama, probably going to win out. Notre Dame's undefeated. Clemson, Ohio State, all of them, they should be in the playoff. But Texas A&M should. Florida should. Cincinnati should. Cincinnati can go 11-0 and not get rewarded for absolutely anything. Texas A&M can go 9-1 but not be able to play in their conference championship because they lost to Alabama, who might probably win the national championship. That's their punishment. I mean, you also look at this. If I do believe Michigan will play Ohio State, I think it would be a hell of a troll move if Jim Harbaugh and the boys don't play Ohio State. I would think that would be unfair to Ohio State as well. But you're going to tell me a 6-0 Ohio State team should make the playoff over a 11-0 Cincinnati team? Probably so, yes. Ohio State is a top 4 team, in my opinion. So, yeah, I agree with that. But this is why, in my opinion, we should have the 8 games and then go back to normal. And you're not playing, look at this. Think about it. You're not playing. In a regular year, you have your 4 non-conference games or your 3. No matter what conference you're in. SEC, it's usually 4 non-conference games. So in the SEC, you're probably playing 12 games. Correct? 12 games, out of your season. Okay, then you have the SEC championship, that's 13, and then you go to your bowl game, 14. Okay, so 14 at max if you go to the Final Four in the championship. 14 at max. So think about it this way. Right now, you're playing a 10-game season. Yes, it is daunting. It is daunting. It's not easy. It's mentally draining. It's physically draining. Totally understand that. But look, if you play an 8-game playoff, that's just adding Like, think about it. All right, so you're going to play 2 in the playoff, right? Your Final Four and hopefully a national championship. Okay, well, if you expand it to 8, you're playing 13-game season if you get to the national championship. Oh, 14, counting your conference. You're playing a regular year, if I did my math right. Hopefully I did. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so you're playing a regular year of football, so just do it. I think it's great. It's great. You don't have to have any controversy on, oh, how could you keep us out? Oh my God, that's bogus. Because let's say hypothetically, Alabama, Florida play in the SEC championship, okay? Florida beats Alabama, which very well could happen. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it will, but it could, okay? Notre Dame plays Clemson. This time Clemson beats Notre Dame, okay? So now let's just say that happens. You're not keeping out Alabama. You're not keeping out Florida for beating Bama. Well, Clemson just beat Notre Dame, so you're not going to keep out Clemson. So you're going to tell me you're going to keep out Notre Dame, who ran the table the whole year. Just because they lose in the ACC championship, you have to keep them out because you want to put in a 6-0, 7-0 Ohio State team? That is why this year I think we should have went to 8. I think the NCAA messed up on that. The NBA, they changed their rules. Look at the NFL for sake. The NFL's adding 2 extra playoff teams than usual. The 2 seed usually gets a bye. They have to play in the first round. They expanded their rules. The NHL, the MLB, everybody expanded their rules. So why not put the 8-team playoff? That's my personal opinion. I'm sure most of you have different opinions on it. I just think it makes a good case in my eyes. I think it makes a good case, and I think it'd be reasonable. But they didn't do it, and I don't see them doing it. And also, you could put 8 teams, send them out, play in their little bubble area. Not even a bubble, but different places. These bowl games you want to do, South Carolina is going to finish 2-8. You think they want to go to a bowl game? Really? Instead, cut down on the bowl games and play 8 games. That's my opinion. It's not going to happen, but I wish we could have seen that happen.
If you ended up liking this little clip, the link to the podcast is in the description. Go listen. Thanks for the support. I think you guys will enjoy it. And yeah, go listen.